where Gaetz, after he delivered this very Trumpy speech saying that he was the most Trumpy person in Congress, he retires to his hotel room with this woman who he's had a transactional relationship with in the past. Now, in this story, we identify this person because not only did she have a transactional relationship that was pay for sex with Matt Gaetz, but she also leveraged that into a government no-show job locally with Joel Greenberg, where she got paid almost $17,000 for not actually working.
Yeah, but what about Hunter's laptop? Hunter Biden's laptop. Why won't you talk about that? Who cares about what Matt Gaetz did?
And so in this story, what we do is we zero in on this after party where two witnesses who were there tell us that Matt Gaetz and this woman, who at the time was his paid escort, brought cocaine, snorted it with him on a bathroom counter.
What's wrong with a little powdered cocaine? Matt Gaetz, sure, he snorted it, but Hunter Biden smoked crack, huh? Why aren't you talking about that?
And this is extremely relevant for at least two reasons. The first is that Matt Gaetz keeps saying he never paid for sex. Well, we have witnesses who say differently. And the second is that this doesn't just involve somebody who landed a no-show job at taxpayers' expense. The congressman also expensed this particular hotel stay as a campaign expense. So we know that donors footed the bill, at least for this instance.
Big deal. Donors in Florida are used to spending money on their politicians doing drugs. It's just part of the game. Drain the swamp.
Yeah, and this business of corruption is central to this whole story. Greenberg was charged with 33 things in the beginning. He's pleading guilty to 6 of them. But a lot of what Joel Greenberg did was stuff on the public dime, access to things that he had access to because of an elected office that he held. So there's this overlay. Matt Gaetz sort of wants to convey this idea that he's just a man about town who parties a lot and had an active dating life. But in fact, there's a level of corruption and use of public funds and resources that complicates this story.
Definitely. Look, to understand why all this attention is now on Matt Gaetz, we have to understand who Joel Greenberg is, right? He's a local politician in Florida who, the second that he got into office, according to federal investigators, he started misusing that office, misappropriating funds, starting to generate Bitcoin from his computers there. He gave his friends
fingers in my ear, I don't hear you. You are a liberal. You are against MAGA, nobody wants to hear this crap. You are a liberal. Talk about Hunter Biden's laptop.
As we also revealed just a few weeks ago, Joel Greenberg wrote a confession letter in a bungled attempt to get pardoned by then President Trump, detailing everything about who he is and his relationship with Matt Gaetz and what they did. And in that letter, Joel Greenberg explicitly states that he was with the congressman when they both had sex with a 17-year-old. This would make this 17-year-old girl an underage minor.
Yeah, but 17 is different these days. She knew what she was doing. It's the Bidens and the Clintons that there's those sex people. They're all about sex. Clinton went to Epstein's island. Who killed Epstein? Drain the swamp. Sex trafficking is only done by the Democrats. The Republicans are about Christian values. They could never do stuff like this. You are a liar. Look at Hunter Biden's laptop. Wrong, MAGA.
In Florida. And that's why this is so relevant, because yesterday's news that Greenberg essentially admitted to 6 of the 33 crimes he's charged with. One of them was sex trafficking of a minor. And that girl is also tied to Gaetz. And here's why. As we at the Daily Beast revealed just weeks before that, Matt Gaetz sent a Venmo payment to his wingman, Greenberg, indicating hit up, and he mentioned the girl's name. Yesterday's plea agreement signed by Greenberg was welcome to us because it actually lined up perfectly with all the reporting we've done so far. We know the name of this 17-year-old, how much she was paid, where she's been, and this is where the world is going to come down crashing for this congressman, because the feds have the receipts. They're getting the witnesses, and we know that Joel Greenberg is just the first person that the feds have really gotten to and turned.
Essentially, this is fake news. Fake news. You're all fake. Creepy Joe. The liberals are the pedophiles. Q said so. The storm is coming. The Great Awakening. Red pill, red pill, red pill. You're all crazy. You're wrong.